Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim, and this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with crafting. So, from amigurumi to weaving and anything in between, if you like crafting and being creative, stick around. I think you're going to like it here. So, Monday morning, it's a rainy Monday morning. Makes me want to sing that song, but I won't. Welcome to Coffee with Kim. It's not a good episode unless you see the first sip where I burn my tongue, which you know that happens. I hope you all got a chance to see my live yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to join the live, please go back and watch the recording because, in my opinion, it was the best episode I've ever had. The people that joined me and the spontaneous things that happened during it were just amazing. I was surrounded by the most incredible people, and they just gave me gifts out of nowhere. I had no idea this was coming. I had no idea at all, no clue. Um, so I was very humbled and actually rendered speechless. So if you want to see that phenomenon, make sure you check it out. But after the show, we're all cleaning up and everybody's working so hard and we're packing and lifting and it's cold and it's raining. And the gentleman that gave me the Afghan blanket, he came over to me and he's like, I have to show you something. He said, the right person needs to see this. And he goes, and I think you are it. And he brought over this blanket. This might be the most beautiful handcrafted item I've ever touched. It is, it's rough. It's got some spots that need repair, which I will repair. But look at the craftsmanship in this. Each little teeny tiny flower is sewn itself to cinch shut. And then they're all formed into a square. Now each one of these is sewn together with each other. And then they're sewn together onto the backing. He said nobody even looked at it all day. I'm like, well, you just didn't have the right people coming by. And he gave it to me. I said, let me. He goes, I had it. I washed it yesterday. That was a task. But he said, I've had it in my store for 6 months. I had $160 on it. He said, I brought it here to the sale without a price on it. Excuse me. He said, hoping that someone would see it and appreciate it. He said, since nobody did, I want you to have it. Long story short, I insisted that he take $60 for it. This, I can't explain enough how beautiful this is. Like I said, there's a few of these that have come uncinched, and I will be repairing them. But this, so I looked up how to wash a handmade quilt. And how to wash a handmade quilt. And it said hand wash only. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Keep in mind the day I've had, excuse me. And so I fill the tub with cold water, rainy and cold all day, but I fill the tub with cold water and I slosh around the gentle laundry soap that I keep for special occasions. And I actually got in there with both hands. I mean, I'm shoulder deep into this. And it was dirty. It was very dirty. You could tell Somebody just didn't appreciate this. This was in an old home. Here's my thought. This was in an old home, and it was just neglected and ignored for years and years and years and years. And then it went, then he picked it up and just put it in his shop. He didn't know how to wash it. And you know what? Why should he? Leave it to the consumer who's going to buy it to clean it. This is a separation between the pillow. So the main bed part and then the pillow. This goes up on the pillow. It's absolutely, I know I can't do it justice. I know I can't. Let's see if I can get any closer. I mean, there's not one of these missing. Like I said, some of them need to be re-cinched, but there's not one missing. And it's purple. My favorite color on the planet. And so, yeah, so I washed it and hung it up to dry last night, and here we have it. And it is so beautiful. So it's definitely going on my bed. And I think while it's on my bed, I will pin what needs to be sewn and then sew it. I might do one square at a time because it's a bigger blanket and I don't want to get discouraged where I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do it. So if I do just one, because each one of these colorful squares is outlined by a purple border. So that happened. What an amazing experience. So they all took my cards and hopefully they're going to watch. I did get about 10 or 15 new subscribers over the weekend. I watched my numbers go up a little bit. But such wonderful people. I am, however, very exhausted. That was a long weekend. 4 days worth of it. So I'm supposed to go to my daughter's tonight, excuse me, for dinner. So that'll be some nice relaxing time. Hang out with my daughter, snuggle with my grandson. But first, I have to empty the Jeep, go back to the fairgrounds because I left about, 5 or 6 things there that I just couldn't fit in the Jeep anymore. And I have to pick them up before noon. So it's 7. All right, so I wanted to show you guys the jewelry box that I told you the story about. So you could see what I mean when this woman claims that she left me 25 cents for this. First of all, it's very heavy. Okay. There's the top. There's the sides. Okay. The bottom. First of all, there's not a chip in it. There's not a mark, a bruise, a bump, nothing. It's a little dusty on the inside. But other than that, it's absolutely perfect. So I decided to do the reverse lookup on Google. There's one here for $185. There's one here that's actually broken for $85. Let me see this one. 75 lira. I don't know what that means. I know it's a different. It's in the UK, but it's called an Incolay, Incolay stone jewelry box. Genuine Incolay stone jewelry box. Here's one for $150. So for this woman to say she left me 25 cents, first of all, I'm very proud of myself for confronting this person. I don't like confrontation. I don't like stuff like that, but this meant enough to me to stand my ground and say, you know what, you stole that from me, so it's got to come back. So let me just see. $135, $95, a broken one, just the lid, $46. So, I mean, and I guess Incolay, Incolay, Incolay. I don't know. They must be special jewelry boxes, but it's back now. And I guess shame on me for trying to sell it, and I never will again. It's going on my dresser, and it's staying with me forever. And that woman had some nerve. I just noticed it's signed by something Roberts. Let's see if I can get the camera to pick it up. Right here. Come on. There. So it's heavy, and it's beautiful, and it's mine, and it's home, and it's staying. Lessons learned, right? I mean, there's not a chip in it. There's not a bump in it. And can you imagine being that person? And I know I told you the whole story, so I'm not going to do it again. But I've been analyzing it. Could you imagine being that person that just walks up to somebody's display? She was a fellow vendor. So she knows how much work and time and everything it takes to make this show happen. But I guess, I mean, in her defense, she didn't realize. She probably figured, well, if I have it sitting out there, I want to get rid of it. But just don't. It's terrible. So what else? I did come home yesterday, and I did a little bit of quilling. So I got this book off of eBay, Quilled Borders and Motifs. The author is Judy Cardinal, which I love her last name. But so here's what it is. So I decided I'm gonna start going through this and making some of her items. So the first one I came across, because it's got basic techniques, it's got everything going on in here. First thing I came across was this bird. Really cool bird. So I went to my little quilling supplies, the few I have. And I did, come on, where are you? So I did 2 of her designs. You already saw my cardinal, but I did 2 of they were fun, really fun. And then I decided, well, I'm going to play a little bit more. Oh, they got squished a little in the book. Bummer. Well, the Christmas tree got squished when I closed the book. But check out the snowflake. And then I decided I'm going to try to make a little snowman. So I did a whole Christmas theme. But yeah, that got a little bit squished when I closed the book. Well, you know, you're working with paper. And then I tried to do the cloud. I'm noticing that in this book, if I can't close it tight if I'm using the thicker paper. Note to self. And then I just decided, instead of following patterns, I wanted to play around and do a bunch of different shapes and flowers with the colors that I had. So I just needed some time to relax, and that's what I did. I tried to crochet a little bit while I was at the show, but there's just so much going on. I ended up frogging it out 4 or 5 times, so it wasn't really worth it. And I was just practicing anyway. I had a book. It's out in the car still. Everything's out in the car still. Oh, I felt terrible because Mr. Fortunate brought me some snacks. He came up Saturday morning. He didn't stay long, but it was nice that, I left him a car pass just in case he felt like coming. There was a time where he would have walked around looking, but not anymore. So he came in, he sat, and he brought me some snacks, some water, and some pretzels in his lunch bag. And this morning last night when he was packing his lunch, he's like, "Where's my lunch bag?" I'm like, "I don't know where your lunch bag is." He goes, "I brought you snacks in it." I'm like, "Oh, it's probably still at the fairgrounds with the stuff I have to pick up by noon." So I gave him one of my lunch bags, It was all flowers. He starts laughing. He's like, I'm going to get beat up. Someone's going to steal my lunch. I said, I'll put a note on I'll pin a note to your lapel. Don't beat Brian up. So, all right, you guys, I have a ton of stuff I have to get doing, and editing this and the treasure hunt that I did while I was there are two of them. Plus, I've got well, you don't need to know my whole list. Anyway, I got a day ahead of me. So I hope you have a great Monday. Remember, be happy, be kind, and be creative. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.